Right, hello guys and welcome, OttoTTV here. Right, what we got for you today is a new game which is called Wolfpack. It is a sub-simulator game, which is something new to me. I don't really normally play simulator games at all. But this one, it's kind of grabbed me by the bits, mate, it really has. Because it's one of those it's so addictive, and the more you get into it, the more you like it, you know, and when you meet a group of people in it as well, it just gets better and better. So, I'm showing you the screen right now, which is the credits. Basically, this game is made by, the Wolfpack game is made by Oscar Weiberg and Eno Ludgren, with cooperation from subsim.com. So, it is basically a community-based game, even though it's made by two people. The subsim.com is feedback and information about certain simulators, and so it's had a lot of feedback from people, and it's been produced by them as a team, really, in that sense. So it's got a lot of features in there, and a lot of potential to still gain on it. Bear in mind it is beta, so you've got quite a lot of work on it still, but it's good, and I'll go through it with you now. So first thing first, we're going to go on play mission. We're going to create a new lobby, and just for the purpose of this stream, we'll set it to nobody else can join in. So we're going to create that lobby. So we've got different eras we can set it into, and months, and location. So what we're going to do first of all, we have a selection of North Sea, Baltic Sea, Norwegian Sea, and Bay of Biscay. So we're going to keep it on the North Sea. Smaller the year, well, lower the year, 1939, is small convoys. As you know, as war progressed, convoys got larger. So we're going to put it on 1941. We're going to put it into May. And you can obviously go, pick a time of day, so light, afternoon, morning, early evening, something like that. So what I'll start it off is 5:25. We're going to put it on something easy. I'll put it on easy for the 15,000 tonnage because I don't want to have a really long extended video for you guys to watch. Just something nice, short and sweet, hopefully. So here we go. We've been given us orders telling us basically we've got to go to a grid AN49, and we've got to sink 15,000 tonnage. So once this loads in, normally it loads in quite quicker than this, but I've just literally loaded in the game, so there it is. So we've got the U96, U552, 564, and the 307. Personally myself, I do like the Das Boot, but I'm going for the 564. So first of all, you got the captain, navigator, helmsman, radio, and dive officer, and you can fill that ship up on your team, and you can have guys in the other ships as well, so you could create a Wolfpack of 4 ships. So, personally, just at the moment in time, I'm running it myself just to show you what's what, and you guys can get a little feel for the game. It's a lot easier when you play the team. There's obviously a lot running about when you do it by yourself. So first things first, we'll navigate around the ship in a moment, I'll show you it all. We're going to have a quick look for any convoy. So that's where one of the destroyer is, and we can I know what that is, like a Britain class sloop, we're going back towards the convoy. So this is where the convoy is. They're going from left to right with the looks of it. It's a very large convoy because it's 1941. So if that destroyer is, where is he gone? There he is. Our true heading is here. So if I bring us practically around about, I don't know, we'll say 60 degrees. We'll double check that. So first of all, here is your engine telegraph machine. So you can either click on starboard engine or port, but if you want to control both at the same time, you will press shift and click it on one of the inside, which means you're going forward. On the outside, the stern engines, it means you could be going back if you're going astern. So we're going forward. So this is where you would steer the ship. So we've got a course of 197, I'd say. So we're going to bring it around to 120 and then double check that. Also take note, between the red lines and the black lines, you are going to have individual lines, which is 1 to 9. Those, if you can see in the middle circle, that is counting them for you. So 0 would be dead on a number, and 5 will be halfway between the numbers, and so on. So it helps you just set your ship on a true course. We're coming up to 140, just past it, 130, and we're going to go to 120. So we're going to press W now to lift it back up and center that ship. So as you can see, we've got the 0 practically dead there. Maybe a little touch, but that's a good enough course. So, first things first then, let's just double check our course. So, that Britain class sloop is there, it's turning back away. The convoy is there, and on the bearings, which you can see right at the top, so I'd say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bearings. So, we are kind of going into them slightly. If it's 95, you're generally parallel. So what we may do in a moment is adjust course by 10 to starboard. So I'm adjusting to 10 starboard, and I'll give you a little bit of a tour of the ship. The reason why I'm not going into that pack right now is because the whole idea is for me to get ahead of that convoy, to then cut in, then dive, and then if need be cut in some more, but generally speaking close the distance. So you generally want to close the observation periscope because it's a lot thicker compared to the attack periscope, because that's a thinner scope and so on, but also it's adjustable. That's not. You lift it up fully and that's pretty much it. So we'll start off here at the officers' quarters. So as you can see, bit of smut for you, and with the old comics kind of thing from the 1941, 1939, and just general stuff like this, you know. And obviously, here we go. So this is now this is the radio operator's room. So this is not currently working right now. The radio direction finder rotation and the radio direction finder, they're not currently working at the moment. But that will be, I'll show you the antenna in a moment as well, but that'll allow you to zero in on ships when you're on the surface, okay? When they're using radios. So the Enigma, you can set the channels there to receiver and transmitter, and obviously you've got your Enigma machine. Here as well, telegraph key. They are fully working. So you can see what course you're going here, and the engine, okay? And current time. So, music, we have music also, which I will put something on from the U-96 Captain's Personal Collection. We won't have it on loud though, we'll just turn it down. So, this is the hydrophone. So you got the gain on the right. When you're underwater, you would lift that up to about 5 or 6, have a quick scan around, and you would hear the engines and propellers of the ships, okay? The volume there to obviously turn it down if need be. So a lot of things that actually work really good, and once you've got a full team, everyone does their own part, you know. Let me have a quick double check at their location. I don't want to get caught out, do we? I think we can have another quick scout of the boat. So, forward ballast, aft ballast, down here. You would fill them up to put water inside these. That's one there, and then you got one to the right, okay? When they are full and you dive around about 13 meters, you can then close these ballast. Make sure you do close them, because when you do try and blow the water out by using that compressed air, they'll just keep on filling back up, okay? So, these are your planes, A and D for the front plane, and arrow key left and right for the aft planes, okay? To centralise them both at the same time, you press Z and up on the arrow key, and it'll centralise them both, okay? So we don't really need to do anything with that until we dive in. So this is where, like I said, you blow all your water out the ballast, providing you've closed off your ballast after. This is where you put your negative in. So your top one you put it in, and this one you lower it out. You want a 0.5 in there. As you can see, it's a 0.5 further up. But you literally want around about half of that. Something like that, maybe a bit more. Or too much now. Because that will keep you, when you dive, it will keep you on the same buoyancy. So you put that in there in advance. So this is something else that's going to be working as well, which is the depth finder. So you basically just click on that and it'll spin that one. You turn this and it'll spin the other one. So it works out in hundreds of meters, well, 50 meters, and obviously you get there in the tens and so on. So you can get a decent reading for the depth. The moment they haven't added a depth into the game, like a seabed, but there will be. So compressor, when you use your air to pump water out, you got to make sure your compressor fills it like above that green bar. Okay. If you dive underwater quite deep, the billage level is just to pump out excess water when you start dripping and so on inside the ship. So navigator's table, we'll come to that later. But as of for now, we're going up. So CDC is where you put all your information in for your torpedoes. You can select the angle tracking, so you can use the AP or the Uzo up the top, or the OP further down, or you can shoot it from here. Depth, range, and so on and so on. You can also steer for the ship from in there as well, and give orders for the engine speed. So always close this because you've got the light, and always make sure it's closed when you are diving. So here it is then, on the bridge. So that's the Uzo, which will give you a view of this. You can fire a torch from that as long as you've got the Uzo selected on the CDC. Compass, and you can control the ship from here as well. This is where your observation periscope will come up, but it's not adjustable. That's where the attack periscope will come up from, and that is adjustable on the height. That is your radio position finding. It doesn't stow away, but it would stow away and turn when it's become active, okay? Here's your anti-aircraft gun as well, so as you can see, but I won't fire it. It does a free full 60. So to the back, obviously engines, I'll take you down in a moment, and then obviously at the front I'll show you that as well, but I'll do the back first. So down ladders we go, both ladders on each side work, because I know there's some games that I just prefer one side. So obviously the back of the engine is really heavy in sound. One thing I would like though is then to actually allow you to have a flag on here. They need to put a flag on there, especially when you're above water, I think. Just for a bit more feeling. So deck gun, absolute beast. So you would basically push up on W and S down to set your range, and obviously you can turn it around as well. When you're aiming at ships, try and get a waterline ship. It's always best to have a crew member to guide your shots in as well. If you work on the AP or the OP to get the range of the ships, you can set it straight away as you run to it and set it, and then your first shot might hit straight away. You will get rocking though from the ship with the waves and so on. As you can see, the ship lifts up and down. So this is a view, guys. Here it is. To me, Jasmine, they've done really well with the detailing. They could make it a bit more HD here and there, but for now, it's good. So, sun's about to set, stars are coming out, which you can also see the galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy as well, when it gets a little bit darker. So, we are now looking like we've done quite a lot of the distance to get in front of them. Not where I'd like to. We still need to gain a bit more distance. So, I've given you a quick run through of the ship, the basics so far. Obviously, each individual crew would generally do a set job in the ship. So, like I said, the AP's there. In fact, I'll show you this now. So, you would set like target speed. So, you calculate the speed and you can adjust it accordingly. The depth for the torpedo, for the draft of the ship, the range, which is in hectometers. So when you say 1,000 meters would be 10. Okay. If you're in 3,500 meters, you'd be there. The other thing is, obviously, if you're sending a salvo, you can put the length of the ship in, which is obviously a key. Angle on bow is very important. The circle in the middle, if you can imagine, this port is you. I mean, sorry, this is the ship you're looking at, and that's a person stood on front of their bow. And the arrow pointing out is your line of sight to where you are. So you'd be practically out here somewhere. You'd be here. That should be there. So you calculate, are you looking at the left side or the right side of the ship? On this case, we would say we're looking at the left side. So ideal shot would be 90 degrees. But anything's ideal as well, as long as you can get the shot. But it's beneficial for you to do it at 90 degrees. You've got a good timing for the speed of the ship and so on as well. But 90 degrees is where you want to be. So would you say the case it was 60? So the ship is going this way, the front's here, the back's here. And that's where the ship is. I'm over here. So we're going to say that would be the angle on the bow. It's not as complex as what you think it might be, but when you don't ask people and people don't tell you, you don't know. It's just like, oh, I'll put it on the right, I'll put it on the left. But it's something that can be easily explained, and I can do more on it as well. But somebody actually helped me out with this in the game. So you would normally see a runtime here, time to impact, which is key, because obviously you want to get a longer distance shot first, a shorter one and a shorter one, and hopefully they'll all hit around about the same time if you can do so. So we're going to set ours to AP tracking, which is the attack periscope just behind me, okay? And you can select torpedo 1, 2, 3 or salvo. So you can change the engine speed and the rudder. So we're going back down. I'll have one quick little look at this, and then we'll just show you navigation. I think I can show you navigation when I spot a ship. So the thing what you need to be doing first of all on this game is identifying a ship. So this one here is definitely a passenger liner, and it looks like it's got 3 funnels on it. So I won't do that one right now. I'll try and do something else. We're a bit far away to see clearly. But what you would normally do, you press C button and you go to recognition manual, warship, aircraft or merchant. At the moment aircrafts are not in there, but they will be added, okay? So some people like to start off straight away with a mast. So you click on mast there, and I don't know, let's just say that one there is mast, funnel, kingpin. So kingpin is like a H mast, okay? So mast, funnel, kingpin. Let's come up with 3 ships straight away. So the engine is mid on this one, and it looks like a composite for me. No, that kind of looks wrong. It must be a split. That's a one. It's a split. And the first one is not a radio mast, is it? So from what I can see, it looks like a heavy freighter type 19. When we get closer, you'll be able to see more of it. But as you can see, that's giving us relevant information, which is displacement. Generally speaking, if you want to hit your target, you want to make sure you get the biggest ship out there. The fattest cow, so to speak, because that's going to give you the milk, so to speak, to get the highest tonnage. The length is key when you're timing your ship for its speed. The draft is obviously where you want to set your torps. You don't really want to set it. The lower the torp hit, the bigger the damage, the quicker it's going to flood. Higher it up, less damage. But I'm not too sure if this game at the moment is taking into consideration the roll on the ship, if it's going to, with the motion of the sea, if it's rocking up and down. So I've always set mine kind of halfway between whatever it says, okay? 21 beam, which is the thickness of the ship, and speed, which is maximum 13 knots. Mast height is very key, which is 36 meters. That's something we need to be looking at and keeping an eye on, because what we do on that ship is way over there. It's probably one of the furthest away, but you see the radiance on the side going up. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it becomes 10. Yeah, that's 1,000 meters, so to speak. So it's basically goes up in radiance like that. So you put that on the waterline and you put that to the top of the mast, and then what you do, you calculate the mast height, divide by the amount of radians it is, and then you would times that by 4 if you're fully zoomed in. If you're not zoomed in, you don't times it by anything. And it'll give you a number. That number will tell you how many meters that ship away is away from you. And that's key. So it helps you get the right depth, distance for your torp, sorry. So what we're going to do now then, I'm just going to close this down a little bit. This is obviously your navigator's table. You can see the depth, you can see how many meters you're travelling, the bearing and current time. You click on it, you've got a lot more information here. Like it'll tell you the heading right there at the top, how many meters you travelled, and this is last odometer reading, and you can reset it. So that's key when you're diving underwater. You can obviously navigate and plot your route and also the other ship route. So it's a bit more technical. It's a bit more of information for you to actually go on it and do a full video on it itself, I'd say. So 130, that's the course we're on. Okay, you can even lift up there on your speed and the knots, and you can calculate your time, estimated time on arrival. So there's a lot of things like that that are key, but we'll do that on a different one. I will try and plot a couple of courses, but at the moment I need just to make sure where I am, what's going on, in position wise, and then we can start cutting in. So at some point, guys, you're going to be seeing this video fast forward until we're in position. So they're all getting further away, but we're all getting ahead of them. So what I'm going to do now is going to bring it in, let's just say 25 degrees. So that'll be a course of 105. Just gone over 105 there, and that is the course of 105. So obviously the map now, if you look, it's changed because I'm not obviously on the navigations table. Things have changed. So the further you zoom in as well, the more accurate you're going to get on your information. Okay. So just say we're here, and we'll put in another travel of 6,000 meters. 105. That's a new course. We can obviously rub the old one out as well. Let's get rid of that. So for now, oh, we're still on the controls. Oh. You can tell that I'm a noob. I've only had the game literally what, 6 days, 5 days. Still got a lot to learn. So convoys there, they could be going away slightly again. Nope, they're coming towards. I'm gonna bring it in just another 5 actually. This is why it's always key to get your navigator to be the one that's plotting your course, and so on and so on. And if you're making all these turns underwater, it's difficult for them. Difficult. So there's a couple of guys in the Discord server that are doing, well, in some respects, I'd say great work, but also helping the community as well. So I think we need to go back in actually more than that. I'm going to bring it to 085 course. I'll show you something in a moment, guys. It's been created by a couple of guys, okay? Just like the game itself. So normally it's a lot of calculation. You need a calculator at the side of you, or you need another screen, and you'll be using a calculator on your game. So as I mentioned, your times, like we did the radiance to gather the distance, you do the same for the speed. You would put your crosshairs on a ship. You put the crosshairs on a ship, and you put a time on, which is pressing T, and you can press T to stop it or to reset it. So you put the cross when you come to a full stop at the front of the ship. You press T, you time it till the back of the ship, the aft, has just got to it. Then what you would do, you would get the distance, the length of the ship, you would divide it by how many seconds it is, and then what you would do to get a bit more accuracy on it, because obviously the Germans use a different type of calculation, and I think this game represents that as well, you would times that by 1.952. and that will get you the direct speed of what they are doing in knots, okay? So there is a tool that's been created by a couple of guys. One of the guys called Fister from Discord he's created this, and I'll show it you now. Oh, actually I won't, because it's not loaded up. There it is. Give me a couple of seconds. Here it is. Wolfpack calculator. So what you do on this basically, we'll just say, I don't know, the mast height was 36 and we'll say the radiant was 3 in distance from us. Yep, on the radiants that go vertically on the crosshairs. We'd calculate that and that'll give you the range. Like I said earlier on, the calculation would be the mast height divided by how many radiants it is and times by 4, and it'll give you this range. So 48 hectometers, so you put that on 48, so it's 4,800. Okay, the distance that we said the ship as well is 134 meter length, and it took us, I don't know, we'll say 36 seconds for it to go. That would tell me that that ship's doing 7.2 knots. Okay, 7.24 knots. I'm not sure of the formula on this one, but I have cross-referenced it, and it does come very, very close to the 1.952. If you do it by times 2 like it says in the game, then it's greater and it's too fast. You're giving the ship too fast on it, okay? But I think the people that made the game have not get it at 1.952 for you, or put that information out there, because it might be a bit more complicated for some people. Alright? So we'll come back to that later on. So, for now, I'm literally just going to be going in this course, so I want to leave you there for a couple of moments, and we'll fast forward this. I'm going to take it from there, okay? Right then guys, so from what I can just see there, we are looking at a decent amount of distance that we put between us and them. We have now started cutting into them. What I'm going to do now at this moment in time is cut in by another 20 degrees. And once I've done that, I am then going to be filling the ballast, and we're going to put a dive in and obviously try and close that gap in to try and get close on some of these top hits, okay? We don't want to be going full speed under the water either, because the destroyer will be able to hear us on the hydrophone. So it takes in a lot of things like that into consideration. As you can see as well, we've put ourselves on night lights as well, which it helps quite a lot when you're looking through a telescope as well, okay? It helps keep your eye in, so to speak. So we're going to put the planes down, the ballasts all filling, which are filling there. I'm going to switch this to electric engines, and I'm going to put it on full speed until I get the dive in, and we need to close some distance here. So 10 meters will be classed as underwater. 11.5 is for observation periscope, and 13.5, between 13.5 and 3/4, something like that, is good for your AP periscope. So course is being corrected. We're going down very slowly. Coming 7 meters now. Just so I don't forget, I'm going to close the ballast off now. Normally I would wait until I get 13 meters, because some say that the game takes in consideration the water pressure outside to what's inside at 13 meters. If you close it off, it'll hold your depth a bit more steadier. So we're going to level it off, Z and up. Z and up key. We'll do them both, okay? So I'm going to keep the one down at the front, just to get a bit more depth on us. One for at 13.5 meters. Well, probably 13. Because we're still going in at some speed anyway, so we'll still be able to dive a little bit more if need be. Right, so also as well, flashlight, F, G, red, and a G again will go green or back to white. So if you don't want to look like this, then you can simply do it like that. Okay, so what we're going to do now at this point is get on this AP, have a quick scan, and we're going to try and recognise some of these ships, and I will make notes of them on a sticky note. I can do it myself quite quickly anyway. As you can see guys, convoy is here. We're coming in, we can see the ships now in much more detail. And that's our bearing to what they are. We could continue at this course and we would be set around about just short of 90. We could be about 85 or something like that, maybe 90. I mean 80 on the angle of the bow. Oh my word guys, don't tell me I've just been detected. Oh, no way! Slow speed, dead slow in fact. And this time we know we're being detected because if you put the flare up, the lights on the ships will start coming on, and you better hear it on here. And it's pinging us. It's a long way away, but the only thing is, the convoy is going to be changing their course now. So all I can do is bring the engine to a stop. I think I know why that is. Not the distance for the engine. I think it's at 13.5 meters. But I didn't lift the periscope up fully. Therefore, I mean, the game takes into a lot of things into consideration. Like, with people in the game as well, people will top a couple of ships and then they'll get the destroyer will start putting the hydro on and they'll just dive. You don't need to do that. Be brave. Keep yourself around about 13.5 meters and just sit back, son. Have a laugh. So, yep, courses have been changed quite a lot. They've got the searchlights on. Obviously, if you're on the surface and they spot you, they'll put all the lights on you, and you can't see a thing. But they can all see you, and they will fire flares at you as well. So, what I'm going to do is bring us about 10 degrees on dead slow. The other thing that I want to mention to you is people always seem to be topping outside the convoy about 2,000 meters away or more, or sometimes a little bit less, but they're outside the convoy. I like to get a bit closer than that, not because I get the tops in, it's because the destroyer can't hear me with the hydro, because all these other ships are going on. At the moment, he could find me where I am. He will find where I am, but nothing will practically happen. Because, not because it's the game, it's just because I'm at 13 meters, his hydro won't recognise me. Obviously, if you're on the surface as well, his hydro won't work. So then when you go down to a certain depth, you only get good readings on you. A lot of people like to play chicken with them. I don't want to extend the video too long, guys, so you might end up with some fast forwards throughout the game. So we could have quite a lot of ships on our aft as well, so we might get some forward tops on and some rear tops. So now it's about identifying some of these ships. Obviously they're still looking for me. They know I'm here. Just don't know where. So that there is a mast, kingpin, funnel, mast. Let's have a look. So mast, kingpin, funnel, mast. And where's the engine? It's mid. Lifts up quite high in the front. It's got an island in the middle. Every freighter type 24. That's what I'd say it is, because you can see the mast as well on the back end that forks out. That's the one, but it's only 8,400. But it's going to give you the tonnage. And we're going to have to start working out distance and so on. So what I'm going to do now is lower that down. Put myself on a stop. Generally speaking, you could call that an order and they do it for you instantly. And the community is great, especially if you join into the Wolfpack Discord. A lot of good people in there. So we're going to come to a full stop. For me to check my speed, I'll go downstairs and check the odometer. This is why it's key to have friends, players with you. A lot of people just join in with random people, and they're generally decent guys as well, so you'll be absolutely fine. So we're coming up to 0.1 knot, 0.5 knots, sorry, so we're nearly coming to a full stop. So this is where our calculations come into play. So I set that to AP, just double checking it. So let's have a look. So it now looks like it's still looking for me. They might have found me because I've adjusted the course. Put it on a slow speed. And I'll switch back to actually it's a bit loud that actually. The thing is that the changing that course, this is my fault for what I've done. It's either because I've gone not deep enough and I put the periscope up too much, or I had the engine on full speed when I was too close, but I was too busy just looking around the ship, showing you what's going on and not paying too much attention. So we might get the torps in, we might gain back on the convoy. If not, the video might be a long video. But I don't want to be putting like a 40-minute video when I'm about 20 minutes. That's the bit-in class sloop right there. Right, so that is mast, funnel, mast, yeah? Wait for now. So mast, funnel, mast, and engine is the composite and aft. Must be wrong entirely. Mast, funnel. That's why it's a kingpin. We can't even identify a ship, can we? Let's try again. Definitely mast. Funnel mast, so mast, funnel mast, try that. Composite. It ended up in the mid, done it, on the island. And two masts are the same. Right. Heavy freighter, type 4. We're going to get a calculation on this now, guys, and everything else that we need to. These are long distance, short seas, by the way. So first things first, we'll get the range on. So radiance or 2. It's a long shot, this one. 2 radiance and 28 meters mast height. That is 5,600 meters away. We've got anything closer than that? So I've done my calculation there. Not looking for me anymore. The convoy has been scattered. We try and bring it back in again, guys. I'm going to have to try and bring it closer in. On a slow speed. See if these lights go back on. Trouble is though, guys, I am needing that distance to be closed. That passing line is right over there as well. Distance, guys, innit? It's just not going to work out. So let's bring it around to true north. Close the angle in. And distance, hopefully. Cut this distance again, guys. So it's still sitting at, I'd say 2.2 there on the hectometers. So 2.2, 28 mast height is 509. That's a very long shot, but we're going to try and give it a go. Depth is 5 meters. So I'm going to say the angle on bow on that ship would just be over 90, so maybe about 100. 100 right. We've got to work out the speed, guys. Timer's on front of the bow. Keep in mind, it's a very long shot, this one, a very long shot. But it's not like a 90 degree angle, it'll still be fine. To be moving at a very, very slow pace. I will finalise the range as well. It's still going. About another 5 seconds, I think, to the end back of that ship. And I'm going to say mark. That's going to be 100 seconds. No way. Really? That was like a 2.5 knots. Radiance or 2? 5,600. That's what it's saying. Time to impact is 5 minutes 49. And here it is. We're going to send that one, and we're going to time it. Probably don't need to time it. If it hits, it hits. We'll get a calculation on another ship. I don't trust that speed, but that's what it said. The ship just wasn't moving. Let me just lift us back up, guy, with a negative buoyancy. So you can see we just by doing that we can lift us back up without having any engine power whatsoever. Because when you get that wave just splashing in front of you, just, you know. So, a very long shot, if that hits, trust me, that's a good shot. If it hits, trust me. But it's not my style of shooting. I messed up on the convoy. And I rattled them. That'll do. So we're going to get an idea on a new ship. Get up the ladders! You got to get fully up, and then you can press the left key to get off it. So mast. That's the same ship we've turned. .5 now. The 2.5 is saying it's 4,800 hectometers. I'll put another timer on him. Well, you set this 4,048 hectometers. The angle on bow definitely changed. Do you know something? I think it could have been correct. That's 30 seconds there. We got halfway just. It might be 3.5 knots. Might have increased speed slightly, but you know, if I mean, it's a lot of calculation, but it's much better as a team. Ooh, 54 seconds. We've definitely sped up, definitely. Angle on bow, I'd say that's about 80 as well. 80 right. There it is, so 67 seconds it's coming up as, so 67 seconds. That would be 3.9 knots, as you can see. 3.9 knots, so we're going to increase that to We didn't even increase it. We didn't even increase the knots, guys, on the last shot. We didn't even do it. See what I mean? That's why you need a crew. You definitely need a crew, guys. So, torpedo up 2, we're going to switch to, and I'm going to get this angle on the bow. Oh, it's turning towards us real good. But it's not a 90-degree angle, is it? So I'm going to change that to about 65, I'd say. And we are going to send that now. So next one would be mast kingpin funnel mast. And it's not got a radio at the front, has it? So it's going to be the heavy freighter type 2. So a quick calculation on this one is 29 meters, and we'll look at the distance. 2.5 reticles. Oh, no, nearly 3. I'll put that at 3 because it's coming closer. It's saying 1,200 in distance. Okay, so that's what it says. 1,200. Depth for that ship is 7 on draft, so I'm going to put that to 4.5. Torpedo 3. Get his angle on bow. I'm going to put that back towards 90. Put it about 80, 85-ish. It's starting to turn back. Put it on 80. Here we go, and loose. Passenger liner. Ba-dum-bum, ba-ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. These are definitely nice to get. I need to go a dock. Right, so that would be passenger liner type 5, I'd say. 15,000 tons. We've got a radio mast on the back. Oh, it's not. It looks like one. It's the wires. That's radio mast in the front. So 38 on mast height. Get the distance on the reticles. So we're looking at 3. That's 5,000 meters away. It says. So depth is 8 draft. So I'd say 5.5 is good. I haven't done a speed on it, but I'm hoping it's run about the same, so let's give that a whirl. And that was set, wasn't set on a 95, was it? Give it another quick torpedo 1, and we're going to change that to 90. And loose. Right, new ship. The destroyer's right there. Nothing behind us. A couple of these ships should have gone boom by now. Surely. But they have been long shots. Do mast. Mast kingpin funnel mast. So 34 on mast height. (4,500 hectometers). It's long shots again. The depth is 6, so I'll put that to 4, just short 4. And torpedo 2. Maybe I should be aiming a little bit further forward with the distance. Come on, you little shitters. Convoy this big, I've not even hit anything yet. I should have put it to the big wide spreader. He should have been hit first, then he should have been hit, and then this one should be battalion liner. Really gone, show yourself. Hey, we got him. That's the original. So as you can see now, flares up, so it's like they're on. They're going to increase the speed, and they might also turn. It's only about 8,000 tons, weren't it? That same ship might have another torp then. It took all that amount of time for my torp to actually get there. Another first one missed, because it was a different angle, then it turned back 95. Passenger line, as you can see, is turning away slightly. Oh, they're coming forthwith. There we go. There's another impact. I'm not sure if I even went for that ship. They didn't have the stamped cert lights on this guy. We probably have some nice images here. So he might get another one, and then it might go here. There we go. Boom! Let me draft quite deep as well for that guy over there. So we've got one sinking right there. One sinking right here. Was that meant for the passenger liner, but he hit them? If that's the case, then my speed must have been way off. There it is, mission complete. Happy days, we've done the 16,000 tonnage. I want to see if we've got another torp in there. The sloop is here. But it's always fun to get a passenger liner, it is always fun. Have I got a salvo? No. Increase speed slightly to, yeah, 6.5 knots. And that should be 95, or 90. And we'll give that another go. Here we go. We'll just wait for this one. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then we'll just end the video. But as you can see, it is very technical. I've done long distance shooting, so the hit ratio is going to be down. I'm definitely getting hydroed, but because I'm still on the surface, they're not getting me. And I like, generally speaking, to be in the middle of the pack. And Believe me, I've been that close. I've been hit by a freighter or a tanker, and I literally was earlier today's game the Britain sloop in a different game literally come towards me, and I had to put the periscope down, and I seen the propeller going. Just that's how close it was. It literally went over me, and I was only 13 meters. I had to put the periscope down. So there's a lot of variation to this game, guys. A lot of variations. It's a lot of fun when you get friends with you, and you've got the other U-boats as well, because you're in a Wolfpack. You get into an area, you can then communicate either comms, or you can use the radio chatter to make it a bit more realistic for you, which many people prefer. I do as well. There's no point playing a game and just all going daft in it. Play it like a U-boat would it's all part of being in a sim, isn't it? You know. So that timer was 5 minutes, wasn't it? It might be to put speed a lot quicker than this. Who knows? I'll give it a couple more minutes. And you can also hear like bulkheads breaking, the ship breaking. You can hear the difference between a submarine propeller as well and the bubbles around it. You can hear like a splutter to it. The ship spluttering. Well, the bubbles around it, you see. I should imagine that's from the grills that are in the ship, why it sounds so different. So, yeah, I mean, if anything's taken into consideration, it is one of these games you've got to learn, but it doesn't take long. Just ask around, or use this video to help you, you know. Really is that simple. I will do one on the navigation at some point, and I will hopefully do more on this game when we get closer to ships, because it's much more better when you see the big explosion and the big puff of smoke and the flames are going everywhere, you know. Ho ho, really? One right there? See what I've got? Torpedo 4. I'm going to set that to about 2 meters. And that mast is about 30, about 42. Let's count the radiance on it. Seven. 2,400. What do you say the angle on bow is? Right, and then it's obviously about 80. Got 1 and 4. 1 and 4, salvo it. Why not? Salvo time! Passenger line just been hit. Yes, yes! It was a very long shot, guys. It was like 5,000 meters away. We hit him. We got the speed spot on. It might take 2 torps him to go down, actually. If we get both torps to hit this ship here, we're laughing. But don't forget, I've not even calculated this ship. I've estimated that mast height from previous games. Which you should never really do that, but I should imagine experience plays out a little bit. But it might not do. We'll see. We'll see. Plus the angle on bow is 20 starboard. I just thought the torps can turn that quick. Going around about 30 knots, I think they go at in the game. It's been confirmed, I think, as well. Would be nice for a very large explosion, wouldn't it? A small ship. Not going to be worth much. Passenger liner's going down, so we're getting quite deep on the water. Getting quite deep on that hull. There he is. Got us at 29,000 tonnage. He's put a turn in now, guys. Ho ho! No way. I want to end the video and just go back to it and shut the video down for you. But these, look at that. That's a heavy tanker, that. Maybe about 15,000, that. I thought we missed this guy entirely. Well, as you can see, the depth that we're at, fine. Don't need to start diving. It is fun though, definitely. It gets fun when you're evading depth charges and stuff like that, you know, depth charges. It's great. But if you do that, you're going to spend 25 minutes, 30 minutes on the seabed, you know. The most brave U-boat captains would have been ones at the in the middle of the pack at night time, and that's what I like to do. People think it's bolder sometimes. People don't want to do that. They want to start shooting now, but positioning is key. So that's it, guys. That's the first video of this. Obviously, difficult with the time, and I got spotted. The convoy spotted me, or they heard me, should we say. They didn't know exactly where I was. But that's what threw it off, made it a little bit harder. I would have been in the middle of the pack, and I'd have done a great video potentially, but this is the first one. So yeah, I hope you like it. There will be some more. I will try and do some compilations of some great explosions and so on. Obviously just a couple of guys in here as well, which you'll see the difference and how the ship runs and how smooth it is, you know. It's great. So thanks for being here, guys, and appreciate you viewing. Speak to you later.